Good morning, Pioneers. My name is Connor Morrison.
And my name is Justice Colvin. Welcome to The Grit.
Our boys baseball team has had a handful of games since our last show, so let's get right into it. Baseball has played 8 games and won 4 of their 8 games, with wins coming against Hilliard-Bradley, Olentangy-Liberty, Strongsville, and Hilliard-Davidson.
The boys unfortunately suffered losses to Olentangy, Liberty, Dublin-Kaufman, and New Albany. The boys currently sit with a 16-4 record. Their next game is tomorrow at home against Hilliard-Bradley at 5 p.m. This past Friday, the varsity girls softball team lost their game against Hilliard-Bradley High School by a score of 2-7. Last night, softball beat Marion Pleasant. Gory Naik had 14 strikeouts on the mound, and Elania Massaro had a walk-off. The record is now 16-4.
Boys lacrosse has gone on a hot streak recently, winning their last 4 games. The team currently has a 9-5 record. The boys look to take down district rival Olentangy-Liberty tonight on their home turf at 7 p.m.
Girls lacrosse has also won their last 4 games and are currently 8-6. The girls have had 2 games this week. The girls will play at home against Olentangy-Liberty tonight and will play an away game on Wednesday against Strongsville.
Both track teams competed in the Hilliard Derby Invitational on Friday, with Soraya Mahmood, Maddie Sharp, Gabby Blendick, Levi Davis, Will Jackson, Lucas Fry, and Carson Duncan placing as top finishers. Last night, track held their senior night against Berlin, Scioto, and FCA. Both the boys and girls teams won. Also last night, boys volleyball competed in the OCC Challenge. They won 2-0 against Pickerington Central. Tonight, girls lacrosse will host the 3-seed Liberty at 7 p.m. Now let's get into our pick'ems.
So we have had a lot of sports past couple weeks since our last show. So I just want to start off NBA playoffs. You know, they're in full swing. Last night, Nuggets beating the Lakers in 5 games. So, what is your overall, just opinion so far in the playoffs?
Well, I think as far as Lakers, once Lakers won that one game, I feel like I saw a lot of people saying, LeBron's going to come back from 3-0 or 3-1 deficit again. And then obviously, Nuggets won on a buzzer beater last night. That's not going to happen. A lot of people were saying, if he did that, he would be cemented as the best basketball player if he was able to do that twice. But I guess the question of who's better still lives on. As far as other teams, I know that Bucks aren't doing very well without Giannis against the Pacers. They're down 1-3 right now. And I also know that the Cavs are tied in their series. I'm forgetting right now who they're playing against. So good luck to them whenever they play their next game. I really like the Celtics right now. They just look like a really good team. They've been crushing the Heat the past couple games. So I know that you know more about basketball than me, so tell me some more stuff about it.
Well, I just want, talking about LeBron winning 3-0. Let me tell you something. I've tried to stray away from this debate because of how passionate I am about this, about the Michael Jordan, LeBron James debate, some would say. It is not a debate. There is no argument.
Really?
Michael Jordan might be the greatest athlete of all time. We might never see someone as dominant, as influential as Michael Jeffrey Jordan was during the 90s. He was otherworldly. At one point, he had a Defensive Player of the Year, an MVP, averaged 37 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. That has never been done. And this is also shooting 12 three-pointers the whole season. Michael Jordan is the greatest athlete in American sports history. Now, moving on, about it's the Magic and Cavs, as you can remember, the team. No one really cares, because I kind of agree with you. The Celtics are going to pretty much whoop whoever the other team is. It doesn't really matter. The Celtics have really turned it up the past 2 games. Pacers and Bucks, unfortunately, it would be a great series, but Giannis is hurt. Dame is also hurt in the last game. So it's basically Chris Middleton versus the Pacers.
Yep.
It's not exactly a balanced game. And really, besides that, none of the series have been really close. Mostly dominations. Sixers and Knicks is another series. That series is 3-1. Hopefully the Knicks can end Joel Embiid's flopping career tonight. I'm excited to see how this playoff goes down. I'm rooting for OK City Thunder. That's who I'm rooting for. Young team. I like them a lot. So that's who I'm rooting for. The other big sporting event, though, that I want to talk about was the NFL draft. as a Browns fan, you guys had no first-round picks, but you had about, I think, 5 picks in total, a bunch of second-round. How do you think you guys drafted?
I think that the Browns actually, in the past couple of years, have been drafting really well, even without first-round picks. And I think that this year we had some good drafts. Our first pick was in the second round. We drafted Michael Hall Jr. from Ohio State. Really good defensive tackle, so I was really happy with that pick. It kind of fills our needs. And throughout the draft, we just kind of got some more depth in some positions that we needed. Obviously, we'll add some more people in free agency as well that weren't drafted. I like the draft. Obviously, Detroit was a great place to hold the draft. There's a lot of passionate football fans. I know that they absolutely annihilated the record as far as attendance from, I think it was Nashville in 2019 or somewhere around there. So they absolutely crushed it as far as the venue. I think kind of talking about teams that really did well in the draft, teams that didn't do so well, I think everyone can agree that the Falcons were one of those teams that really didn't do well in the draft. It all really started in the first round with Michael Penix.
Yeah, it was a very interesting pick. Was not expecting it. I was expecting Romeo Dunze to be picked there, but he obviously was not. Really, though, I think most of the teams got what they wanted. I think the other team that I was surprised by was the Vikings picking J.J. McCarthy. They didn't need a quarterback, but I do think that there were better quarterbacks on the board at the time. I don't know if J.J. McCarthy is going to turn out to be the player that the Vikings and everyone is hoping that he will be. I want to talk, though, about my Ravens.
Absolutely.
They drafted pretty good. I'm happy with it. Nate Wiggins was our first-round pick number 30. Great, probably the best cover corner on paper coming into this draft. Kind of maybe not a steal, but he's a good player. We got a bunch of offensive linemen, a bunch of corners, which were the positions we need. But we also got a 4th-round pick in TJ Tampa, who was a steal, as he was a top 3 corner at the start of the draft, and he fell all the way 4th round. So I'm really happy with our draft, and can't wait to see these guys in action. We signed a bunch of players up too, like undrafted rookies. So I'm really excited for next year.
Yeah, I think as far as the NFL season next season, we should expect a really good season if there's not as many injuries as this year. If there is as many injuries as this year, I think there is some teams that we expect to do really well that won't. But I think there's so many teams that now have either super good offensive weapons or a very solid defense that it should be, in my opinion, I think it'll be one of the most competitive NFL seasons we've seen in a couple of seasons. So I'm really excited for it coming up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited for that. As long as the Chiefs don't win, I'll be happy.
Absolutely. Yeah, we don't need more Taylor Swift.
Oh, yeah. Your very own sports shows producers, Connor Morrison and I, will be covering this week's track meet, dubbed the Delco Championship. Tune in to watch your Pioneer track stars on Friday.
That's all for the sports show today. We'll be back on Friday for our regular scheduled show. I'm Connor Morrison.
And I'm Justice Colvin. Make sure to watch your Nears in action this week and roll Nears.